The following program is a work of satire and is intended for entertainment purposes only. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, places, buildings, or products is intended or should be inferred.
Ain't got no boundaries to hold me back. Boundaries is what I lack. Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Conflation Station. Hop on board the next train out, and let's take a ride to a place where anything's possible.
Hello and welcome to the Conflation Station. My name is Hugo Yorway, and I'll be your tour guide for today's podcast, including political commentary, conspiracy theories, and some cool music from the Electric Glove Orchestra. At the Conflation Station, our team of creative writers and novice journalists combine elements of irony, satire, and pure absurdity to create insightful political commentary and homespun conflated conspiracy theories taken from today's news headlines. Given that today's news are filled with so much misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, and where fake news is generated by artificially intelligent robots, whether you believe it or not, anything you hear reported on the news today might just as well be a work of fiction. To the contrary, at the Conflation Station, you can always count on us as your most trusted news source, exercising the utmost journalistic accuracy, integrity, and fairness. Today, our podcast features stories about President Trump, the members of his cabinet, Jesus sightings, and world peace. But before we begin, as we reach the end of President Trump's first year of his second self-serving term in office, the editorial board at the Conflation Station would like to take this opportunity to release the name of the recipient of this year's Conflation Station Person of the Year Award. Unlike the process used by Time magazine to determine its Person of the Year, the process used here at the Conflation Station is comprehensive, fair, and completely transparent. To illustrate the contrast between Time magazine and the Conflation Station, this year, Time magazine could not even come up with the name of a single person to receive its award, and instead named a group of privileged billionaires as this year's recipients, calling them, quotes, the architects of AI. We at the Conflation Station consider this a complete cop-out on the part of Time magazine. With so many worthy individuals under consideration for this prestigious recognition, this year our choice at the Conflation Station was a very difficult one. This being said, I am proud to announce our winners. Our second runner-up for this year's Conflation Station Person of the Year Award is Charlie Kirk. Although we did not share in Charlie's political agenda or his beliefs, as guardians of free speech, we mourn his personal sacrifice and magnanimously recognize him as our second runner-up. Our first runner-up for Person of the Year is Jeffrey Epstein. Although Jeffrey Epstein is no longer with us, the fact that from the grave he was able to dominate the news this year for his perverse and disgusting acts is, from a media lens only, deserving of recognition. And finally, it should come as no surprise that the recipient of the Conflation Station's Person of the Year Award this year goes to none other than the Reverend Rusty Stubblefield for his exemplary work as an advocate for free speech and First Amendment rights. We believe that Rusty Stubblefield, through his astute political commentary, his spiritual insights as a reverend, and his efforts to continue to pursue his career as an unemployed auto mechanic under the Trump tariff economy, Rusty has given all Americans a glimmer of hope for the future. If you would like to give Rusty a shout-out, you can send him an email at bearberrypathmusic@gmail.com. Since Rusty is still unemployed, he also welcomes any charitable contributions you could make to his GoFundMe page. All contributions are tax-deductible. He thanks you in advance and wishes you, your families, and your friends a happy Festivus. And now, let's take a quick pause to enjoy an orchestral selection written by world-renowned composer E. Dude X with lyrics written by none other than Rusty Stubblefield himself. Rusty is featured on vocals and supported by the cast of the Electric Glove Orchestra. This awe-inspiring and somewhat mystical piece is entitled Mr. Manhole. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Now here's a few words that begin with ass. Astounding, astonished, astronomical. And here's a few more. How's about this? Here's one with two asses in it. Assassin, like someone y'all hire to kill someone else. There's also a word with ass and a number in it. Asinine, like this here song.
Thank you, Rusty E. Dudex and the Electric Love Orchestra for that life-altering musical experiment. Remember, the Electric Love Orchestra's complete catalog is available online at Bearberry Path Music. Now, in case you missed it, this year has been a very busy year for the Trump administration, in particular, the unqualified members of his esteemed cabinet. But as busy as these Trump sycophants have been sucking up to him 24/7, they will be ending 2025 on a high note. Just in, we have learned from an undisclosed source working within the Department of Health and Human Services that later this week, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will be announcing a total ban on the sale of eggnog during this year's holiday season. According to anecdotal reports received by RFK Jr. and his team of anti-vaxxer political appointees, drinking eggnog weakens the immune system and may cause adult-onset autism. According to Kennedy, it is specifically the nog component in the beverage that causes autism. Kennedy has researchers working around the clock to determine what nog actually is. When questioned about the eggnog ban, Kennedy stated, quote, "We're pretty sure we know what egg is, but nog continues to have us baffled," end quote. Accordingly, Kennedy, acting out of an abundance of caution, will be putting out an advisory asking all holiday partygoers to refrain from drinking eggnog this year in order to avoid a spike in autism during the holiday season. Turning our attention from the Department of Health and Human Services to the Department of Defense, War, and Adolescent Soldier Boy fantasies, our team of novice reporters has learned that this week, Secretary Pete Hegseth will be signing an order to subsume the Salvation Army and all of its volunteers under the umbrella of what he and President Trump call the Department of War. Hegseth intends to deploy Salvation Army members to Venezuela to perform drug-sweeping operations and to raise money for victims of double-tap boat attacks in the Caribbean. According to Hegseth, since the Constitution prohibits the formation of private armies in the United States, he is totally within his rights to commandeer the organization and its operations to achieve America's strategic military goals. Hegseth said, quote, "The Salvation Army is a terrorist organization which poses a direct threat to our national security. It must be vanquished, and under the leadership of Mein Führer, Donald Trump, we will do it." A spokesperson for the Salvation Army told our sources that in order to thwart Hegseth's takeover, the Salvation Army is contemplating changing its name to the Salvation Militia. On a related note, this past week, we learned that President Trump intends to order a full-scale ground invasion of Poland, Austria, and France sometime early in 2026. When asked about the invasion, Trump said, quote, "If Hitler did it, so can I," end quote. Staying with the topic of President Trump, there is speculation that Erica Kirk, the widow of deceased political activist Charlie Kirk, that Erica Kirk is pregnant with Donald Trump's love child. We have not received a comment from either the Kirk or the Trump camps. There is also similar speculation that Trump will also be fathering children out of wedlock with Attorney General Pam Bondi and White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. When asked for a comment, Trump simply said, quote, "I like 'em young." On a completely unrelated note, we have learned that Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard and Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem have signed multi-million-dollar endorsement deals with cosmetic giant Oil of Olay to represent their line of skincare products. A spokesperson for Oil of Olay has confirmed that both Gabbard and Noem have complexions that rival the craters on the moon's surface and believe that after using Oil of Olay's most abrasive line of crack creams, Gabbard's and Noem's faces will be completely restored back to normal. California Senator Adam Schiff will be calling for a Senate investigation at which Gabbard and Noem will be called to testify under oath about possible violations of the Constitution's Emoluments Clause. Staying on topic with the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, for a moment, our novice journalists have received reports that Noem has ordered ICE agents to begin ice removal operations. Yes, literal ice removal from driveways, parking lots, and car windshields in Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin. When asked about this shift in policy, Noem said, quote, "It is not only the job of ICE agents to remove immigrants. While they're at it, they can also remove ice. In winter, ice, otherwise known as frozen water, is an enemy combatant and weapon of mass destruction that poses a threat to our national security." End quote. With an enhanced budget this year, Noem ordered that refrigeration units be installed in military trucks so they can deploy the ice they remove from the north and transport it to southern states when in the summer it is most needed. And now, let's take another quick pause to enjoy a musical interlude to listen to a song composed by the master himself, Dude X. The piece summarizes the overall philosophy of the cabinet under President Trump's leadership. It's entitled, "Who Can We Hurt Today?" The piece features a heartfelt vocal interpretation by the Reverend Rusty Stubblefield and the musical acrobatics of the Electric Glove Orchestra. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Who can we hurt today? Ow! Who can we hurt today? Who can we hurt today? Ow! Who shall we hurt today? Black man in Alabama. Who can we hurt today? Women in Indiana. Who can we hurt today? Workers in Pennsylvania. Who can we hurt today? Babies in Oklahoma. Who shall we hurt today? Who can we hurt today? Tell me now. Who can we hurt today? I want to know. Who can we hurt today? Is it you? Who shall we hurt today? If you're hungry and you're broken, your name's on our list. If your skin ain't white like ours, we'll throw you in a ditch. Who can we hurt today? Ow! Who can we hurt today? Who can we hurt today? Ow! Who shall we hurt today?
Thank you, Rusty, and the ladies and gentlemen in the Electric Glove Orchestra for your ability to capture the essence of the Trump administration in a song. Lastly, for those of you who have been following the Reverend Rusty Stubblefield's sermons on Jesus in the last several weeks on the Rusty Stubblefield for President show, the Conflation Station just learned that Jesus, disguised as a backpacker, was found hitchhiking across the Donbass region in the Ukraine on his way to Kyiv for a meeting with President Zelensky. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered that Jesus be captured and imprisoned and placed in a gulag in northern Siberia. When asked about his order to have Jesus captured, Putin said, quote, "Once we capture Jesus, we will treat him just like we treated Navalny. No better, no worse." End quote. In our final story, our International Press Corps recently learned that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu signed an executive order declaring Christmas as a national holiday in the State of Israel. When asked about the executive order, Netanyahu stated, quote, "Jesus is the most popular Jew in the world, and his birth should be celebrated by not only Christians, but by his fellow Jews." End quote. In response, Pope Leo indicated that in December of 2026, The Vatican will be celebrating Hanukkah. Leo has also authorized a dreidel spinning competition in the Sistine Chapel on the 6th and 7th days of the Hanukkah celebration. Semifinals will be held on the 6th day, and finalists will compete on the 7th day. Tickets for the 7-day event are available at www.vaticanstate.va. Because there is still a lingering suspicion that it was Jews that killed Jesus, the Israeli Knesset is continuing to debate on